Hey everybody. So today I'm just going to be talking about pine syrup. There's several different types of pine trees in Big Bear, and all of them have different cooking temperatures that they want, time that they steep, uses for them with differences in resin, and some are just outright not able to be used for tea or syrup or anything. So you have to understand how many needles there are in the clusters and what they look like. I don't have all of them here to show you. All I have is this type of pine. And this one's okay. So I'm just going to be showing you pine needles have, I don't know the numbers, but look it up, Google pine vitamin C content. It's like 5 to 10 times the amount of vitamin C percentage that that a strawberry has. So it's packed with vitamins and nutrients. Super healthy for you if you're gonna detox, or if you just like tea and live a healthy life like I do. Then that's great. I also have sage, juniper berries that I just got. Tarragon mustard still is here. The rocket, yeah, that's still alive. Everything else has died pretty much. So it's August 2nd, 2019 right now. So there's still a bunch of cactus left to harvest, and pine will always be there. So I'm just going to show you a quick video on how to do that. So yeah, let's do it. Let's learn about some pine sauce, y'all. Alright, we're back, and we're back in its pine syrup time. So let's get cracking, because you can use this to replace your maple syrup within the store. I'll show you how I do that. I have 3 different types of pectins: gelatin, cornstarch, sugar, simple syrup. Lots of way to make syrup. So let's do this. But so we've got first of all gloves, and I harvested these with scissors. That helps. It's also much better for the tree. So I just go through here and pick these apart, just like this. So you'll have a string here like this, and then these are pokey, by the way, but I have calluses. And then you pull down against the grain. Just pull down. It's hard to do it from this angle, but I'm just showing you, but once you get it down here in the bin, and you're just going, it goes really quick. You don't want the bark, obviously. That'll give you a bitter thing, and if you overcook that will not be nice for you. So I'm not going to sit here and pick all these. I just wanted to show you what that's like. Just go through here. Once you get in the hang of it and you're committed, it goes pretty fast, because you're like, oh, I'm not messing around here. I'm just picking off pine needles. So, and then I'll show you in a second what I'm going to do with them. Cool. All right. And we're back. So, this is a normal batch, on the smaller side almost, but normal batch. It's 2 cups. And if you guys don't want to be peaceful and meditative like me, and you don't want to pull off the things, you can just take it like this, and they just come off like that. There. Now you have your pine needles in the bowl, unlike they are now on my floor. Chipper? No pine needles for you. We'll get you a bum. Okay? Yeah. So that's a faster way to do that. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're gonna make. So you can take this base, and you can use this base that we're gonna make to make syrup, or tea, or jelly. So that's what we're gonna do. There are no. As long as you harvest the right one, Google which one, so you know, and I'll put the link underneath in California to show which pine is okay, which spruce is okay to used for tea and making and for spices, because I'm going to dry and grind these. I'll show you that in a second. I have them air dry. I'll tie them up with a little bit of rope and hang them. I do that with my sage, and I let those air dry in the sun, in the wind, for about a month and a half. And then I take them, put them in a bin, and then I'll put them in my coffee mate grinder and grind them and use those spices and seasonings and make mixes. I'll show you that in a second also. Because then you can use that in your pickling blends. You can use that in salts. I mean, in this one I have some wild ramps. So those are wild ramps that I harvested, and those wild ramps go for $30 a pound internationally. So, but I have 20 pounds of those. And then you've got your juniper fir oil. So those are juniper berries in your oil, and that's going to be delicious. Yeah, and then you've got your sage oil, obviously, so sage in there. So that sage oil is so good. And if you guys are like thinking, hey, I don't care if I lived in the forest or if I had 27 pine trees in my backyard, I'm not doing this. Not gonna do it. Not for me. That's fine. Because thankfully, Food is My Weapon brings that to you. Especially when I tell you that one way to irritate spiders very much so is to take their precious juniper and fir and pine needles. So now you're like, oh, there's spiders? I'm good. So you can order that at foodismyweapon.com or my Facebook, fb.me/foodismyweapon. So I make this syrup, and it's very good for blood sugar, for diabetes. Same thing with my cactus juice. That's great at lowering. So depending on the sugar that you use, I use stevia in the raw sugar. So raw, it's very expensive, but you can manipulate it, and I'll show you how I do that. But you can use, and I also use turbinado sugar, which is raw, organic, vegan, non-GMO sugar. So that's this stuff right here. Really good stuff. So I'm going to take this. We're going to pour water into our pot. And then we're going to get that water going first on the heat. And we're going to let this get up to a boil, and then we're going to pop that. We're going to kill it off the heat once it gets to a boil. We're going to pop in our pine, and then we're going to keep a lid on it off the heat. And we're going to let that steep for about 12 minutes. You can't, once you get the temperature down, not from boiling, because you only want to keep it at that 200 degree, 180 degree, going for the first few minutes, and then, for 10 minutes, then once the heat is cooling down, you can let that steep there for 24 hours, and up to 36 hours, which is what I've done for some of my pine fir syrups. So, and the pine fir syrups I have in my fridge. Just one second. The pine fir syrups. So we have a thinner one that I'm gonna see. I have different batches. So we have a thicker one, and then I have a third one. And this third one it's going to have, the more temperature, the sugar combination that you do, the time that you have it on the heat, they're all going to change the viscosity. So depending on how thick you want your syrup, so that one's got a good stick to it. But you can add cornstarch to that. That's what a lot of so you see corn syrup in the your Betty, your whatever maple syrup. I don't use maple syrup because I make my own. It's corn syrup, so that's processed GMO stuff, and that's just so you can do the same thing with a slurry, and slurry is just water and cornstarch and then you heat that up. That's what makes non-Newtonian things happen. Non-Newtonian liquids are things that don't really follow the laws of physics, so they act as both a solid and a liquid at the same time. So think honey and ketchup. Those are non-Newtonian liquids, so they act like both solid and liquid. It'll stay stuck in the top of the container, and then you shake it up, it becomes more of a liquid, it'll be squeezed out. So that's what syrup is. So, well, it's more of a liquid. You can make it. Syrup is more of a liquid, but yeah. Same concept. So anyway, I'll be back in a second. Cool. Woo! All right. It's pine time. So, fast forwarding to the future. This has just been going. This has just been going for 15 minutes, 12 minutes rather, and so fast forwarding, if I left this steeping in here off the heat for 24 hours, you can do the same thing that I'm going to do now for different purposes though. So for this works great. You have a French press, you're good to go. You can take, like I said before, the pine, like these, like I had them hung on this string, just like this, tied up individually. So, and then I have pine in here that's dried, as well. So I can use this for tea, I can use this for smudge, smudge sticks, incense, but you can also drink it into the tea. And in this Folgers, I have my chopped up and dried, sun-dried for a month and a half pine. So this smells delicious, retains not all of its flavors when it's fresh. I mean, aroma is when but it's tea. Once you heat it up, it's going to spark that flavor right back up. So then, like I mentioned before, I also have 100% Colombian Bam Bam. No, these are the dried ramps, dehydrated. I do have a food dehydrator for beef jerky and for stuff like this, but I just do this in the sun. They smell so good, even through the back. This is the wild allium. These are garlic scapes and the stem, but I dried them. These ones I roasted, actually, lightly roasted, just like you would a pine nut or an herb, and salted them with a little bit of organic single origin salt. So, but they're good, great. Dried sage as well. So this sage is amazing. You dry it same, not for as long, and then because you want it to be fresh. So this is pretty fresh, like maybe like a week and a half of air drying. And then you grind it up in your coffee mate, Mr. Coffee grinder. But as you can see, this is the wild ramps that grow here. These grow throughout the world in different regions, and they all look similar but very different at the same time, depending on the species. Broader leaves, shorter stems, all that. So they're a mild spiciness of a garlic and the mild sweetness of an onion. So they're an amazing thing to have fresh. See, these ones I have cut up into inch-sized pieces, 2-inch-sized pieces, 3. And then these are the bulbs as well, the dried bulbs. This is garlic, wild garlic. You pay a lot for this in the store. I also have it frozen. I have 10 pounds of kimchi. I can't even show you right now, but I have 10 pounds of kimchi with wild ramps, tarragon, mustard, all sorts of things. So, yeah, very cool stuff to be able to have around and use year-round, right? People also don't realize about pickling. Just real quick, this is pickling solution. Shake it up. You see all that fun stuff like a snow globe coming around. That's cloves, tarragon, parsley, turmeric, pepper, sugar, and just vinegar. So it's equal parts apple cider vinegar or regular vinegar. I mix, and then water. You boil that, put that in your vegetables, or you can do lots of stuff. I have pickled mango even. So yeah. And if you're gonna take this stuff, so also, next thing, actually, one sec. In my tuna cactus juice, tunas are the fruits of cactus. It's nothing to do with the fish. So Nápoles y tuna, the Nápoles are the paddles, tunas are the fruits. Anyway, I had mentioned cheesecloth in that, and I realized that not everyone knows what cheesecloth. Like when I say cheesecloth, people might think of Cheeto dust on a cloth. So this is cheesecloth. It's just thin, mosquito net stuff. But contrary to popular belief, it's not just for cheese. So you can get this. This one's only like $2. Good cook. I don't know, but yeah. So cheap stuff. Little goes a long way. Put your cheesecloth here. I do have like little laundry clips that I put on here sometimes if I want. But so you can just take your juice, no matter how long it's been steeped, and just strain it. Oh, my hand's in the way. Just strain it through this cheesecloth, like so. So yeah, we're gonna take that. And then once you have this juice, this pine, this is just pine tea, okay? But from this, and it's so aromatic, it's crazy. So it's awesome stuff. But from this, now that we have this juice, this is where we can make either, you can keep this in tea and flavor your tea, make sweet tea, save it in the fridge. That's fine. It's just water and it's been boiled, so it's good to go. You can save that, and you can flavor cakes and stuff when you're using batter to make cookies and bread or whatever. And even if you just have this tea, as bakers, I need to marry a baker. If you are a baker and single, I am an eligible bachelor. But bakers, they'll take the pine juice, or I don't know if I'm sure somewhere they do this. But you can take tea. They take tea, like Lipton tea bags, and use that in the cookie dough, the cake batter, to make a tea cake, So same thing with this, same concept with this pine stuff. You can flavor it with everything they want. I like it on my pancakes, to be honest. I don't buy maple syrup anymore. I just use my pine syrup and fir syrup because it's way better. Okay, so from here, you're going to make a simple solution. And I use the organic raw turbinado sugar. Sugar in the raw. Here's the box. Sugar in the raw turbinado. So that's one of the sugars I use. I'm also getting in soon some palm sugar and coconut palm. I recommend coconut palm sugar. It's amazing for all sorts of cooking. So yeah, so that's pine syrup introduction. And then so now I'm going to show you how to do a syrup with the pine juice. Now that we have this, now that you understand how to make tea from the pine, you'll have a better idea. Any questions, please write below. Love questions, love feedback. This is a active learning kitchen that I want my viewers to engage in. Ask me questions, email me. Please be vocal, and because there are no dumb questions, just dumb people. So, and there aren't any dumb people watching this. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll get back to you with some awesome and exciting new material very soon. Thank you for watching. Food is my weapon. Please subscribe. Take care.